What if I told you that the Bible is more about money and finances than it is about prayer? Biblical scholars have found over 2,300 verses about possessions, money, and finances, and only 500 about prayer and 500 about faith. In this video, I'm going to show you 4 hidden money laws in the Bible that will help you not only earn more money, but keep it and grow it too. I use some of these same laws to go from broke, sleeping on a basement floor and tons of personal credit card debt to earning top 1% money and crushing debt in less than 2 years. I made my first 100K when I implemented these laws, and then my first 1 million. Now I teach my clients the same things to help them earn more money and achieve financial independence. Let's get into it. And guess who's back? My co-host, my wife has arrived.
Yes, I'm back by popular demand.
Yeah, she's pregnant, guys, very pregnant, like almost 35 weeks. So she was taking it easy. But apparently, y'all like to listen to her talk more than me because almost 20 videos have gone by with less views than the ones that she's in. So y'all don't really come to learn from me. You come to listen to her talk.
We know everything that I'm involved in succeeds.
That is true.
And I've proven this.
That's a good spell. That's a good way to think in your life. Everything I'm involved in succeeds.
Sometimes. Sometimes it's a good thing. Sometimes you could be a part of things you don't want necessarily.
Welcome back, everybody. Say hi to wifey. All right, so story time. There was once a man on a journey and he had 3 servants. He entrusted his wealth to these servants as he went on his travels. To the first servant, he gave 5 bags of gold. The second, he gave 2 bags of gold. And the third, he gave 1 bag of gold. How did he decide how much gold each one got? He decided based on their talents and value of their skills. The servant who got 5 bags put his mind and money to work and got 5 more bags of gold. The servant who got 2 bags of gold put his mind and money to work and got 2 more bags of gold. But the servant who got 1 bag of gold was so afraid of losing the gold and not being able to return the money to his master that he buried the gold. When the master came back, he was pleased to see that the first servant got 5 bags of gold and came back with 5 more. The master said, "You've been faithful with few things. I will put you in charge of many things." And he said the same thing to the servant who multiplied 2 bags of gold. But when the third servant returned the same bag of gold he was originally given, the master was upset. He called him wicked and lazy. He took the bag of gold and gave it to the servant who had 10 bags of gold. And he said, "For whoever has will be given more, and they will have abundance. Whoever does not have, even that which they have will be taken from them." This is known as the Matthew principle, and it's a very important lesson about wealth creation. Firstly, you've been given a skill, a talent, knowledge of some sort that can help other people. The master gave the servants gold according to their ability. You may look at the story and say, well, it wasn't fair that he gave the third servant only 1 bag of gold. Well, he was correct to do that, because the third servant didn't have the mindset of abundance. He had a mindset of fear and scarcity. Both the first 2 servants would have multiplied 1 bag of gold if that's what they were given. This is why the master said, "You have been faithful with a few things. I will put you in charge of many things." Can I tell you something? Money is attracted to those who already have some money. So when you manage your money well, you get more money to manage.
And that is exactly why when you want to make more money or you want to change your career or you want to take these big leaps of faith, it actually makes more sense to keep the little money that you may be getting or to keep the first abundance that you tapped into before just like completely diving headfirst with nothing and no plan, no back. Like I see that happening a lot in the manifestation sphere.
Yeah, don't just jump off and quit your job because it sounds fanciful and it sounds like a nice story. It's not really what happens, and most successful entrepreneurs built something alongside having an income coming in already so they could survive and actually think about building their business. So if you manage your money well, you get more money to manage.
Yeah, because survival mind is not a clear mind. It's a muddy pool.
Absolutely. Ooh, that was nice. That was slick. But you might be asking yourself, Seth, I don't know what to do. How do I manage my money well? You're in luck, because the Bible also has a simple lesson on how to do that too. Do you know the story of Joseph? Through a series of events, Joseph goes from being a prisoner to interpreting Pharaoh's dreams and becoming second in command in all of Egypt. He tells Pharaoh that Egypt will have 7 years of abundance followed by 7 years of famine. He doesn't just interpret Pharaoh's dream. He comes up with a plan. He says, Save 20% of the grain each year during abundance time so there's enough grain for the famine time. Through this, Egypt remains prosperous while famine ravages the land. And this is a direct demonstration of the Hermetic law of rhythm. Everything in the universe has its ups and downs. The sun rises and sets, the tides go in and out, you breathe in rhythm, your heart beats in rhythm, the earth spins in rhythm, everything has its rhythm. Joseph knew Egypt was in a time of abundance, but he knew that harder times would follow. This is simply the ebb and flow of the universe. This has happened to me. There were times I made big chunks of money and then spent it all off, not realizing that good times don't last forever. You need to prepare for some down times.
In those situations, I was Josephina.
Josephina, you were telling me to, hey Seth, maybe you should save some money. Maybe you should do that. I'm like, nah, we'll be fine. We're making so much money, we'll be fine. No. She was preparing for hard times. She understood the law of rhythm. The crazy thing is, like, most people in the USA don't even have $1,000 for an emergency. So save 20% and you'll be amazed at how your life changes. But Seth, how do I save 20% of my income? That's a lot. My life will fall apart. Well, I'll teach you something. I teach the members of my Next Realm program. And if you want to learn how to earn more money by using the laws of the universe through your skills, talents, and knowledge, then check out the link in the description below. You can use the code YouTube for 20% off. Now, something I teach my clients is one of the greatest financial tricks Dr. John Demartini taught me. It's called the Forced Accelerated Savings Technique, or FAST. Here's what you do. You start by saving at least 10% of your income. 10% you won't miss. You'll need to make some very slight lifestyle changes and realize you're actually wasting money on a lot of nonsense. Then every 3 months, you increase the savings rate by 10%. So that doesn't mean you go from 10% to 20%. It means you go from 10% to 11%. Whatever savings rate number you're at, you just multiply that number by 1.1 every 3 months. And in 2 years, you'll be saving 21% of your income. Now, you can get to the 20% faster if you change your lifestyle, but here's the real magic with this technique. If you make a real commitment to increasing that savings rate, you'll start to look for ways you can earn more money because you dedicated yourself to increasing that savings rate. So now your values and your reticular activation system, which filters out things in your reality, it starts to filter in opportunities to earn more money. When I have clients do this, it's amazing how quickly they can save up their first 10K, which is a milestone for a lot of people because only 9% of the US population has 10K liquid cash saved. Depending on your income, you'll save far more than 10 grand. Why is saving important? Because money comes to those who already have some money, remember? So we've learned how to tuck away money for a rainy day from Joseph and learned that we need to use our skills and talents to multiply our money. Now for our third money law, we need to go back to the very beginning of the Bible. In the book of Genesis, the story of the first man and woman, the story of Adam and Eve. Adam and Eve live in an abundant garden, the Garden of Eden. They have everything they'll ever need: food, peace, abundance. The only rule is that they don't eat from a specific tree, the tree of knowledge of good and evil. But Eve talks to a serpent and the serpent convinces her to eat from that tree, and she convinces Adam to eat from the tree, and then they get cast out of paradise. Now, this story is not really about not listening to authority. It's about judgment. Why were Adam and Eve kicked out of the Garden of Eden?
Because Eve didn't actually get the instructions.
Wow. I guess so.
Adam left her alone, man.
Adam left her alone. You can't be leaving these females alone with food. You can't be leaving these females alone with food.
But one time we were clear on what we wanted to eat.
Oh man. Anyways, they were kicked out because now they understood good and evil. They now have the ability to judge things. And I need to quickly explain the fourth Hermetic law of the universe to you, the law of polarity. In your mind, you think things are good and bad, and you have judgment. But here's the thing, events are neither good nor bad. It's simply our story and our perception of that story. Now, if you look at an atom has a positively charged positron particle and a negatively charged electron particle. When you smash these particles together, you get a phenomena called gamma rays, which creates light. When you combine the negative and the positive perceptions, when you combine what you think was good and what you thought was bad, you get enlightenment and you level up your life.
Oh my gosh, that's literally how the sperm and the egg meet. And then there's that whole enlightenment moment that happens
True.
to actually create the
It's actually
baby.
crazy if you see microscopically what happens with conception. There's a spark of light.
Enlightenment.
It's actually crazy. So what does this whole judgment thing have to do with money and combining these negative and positive perceptions? You judge yourself too much to earn more money or become financially independent. You think you can't earn more, or you have too much shame to put your skills and talents into the world and ask to be compensated. These are all judgments you have on yourself. False perceptions that block your wealth. You buy the Gucci tracksuit when you can't afford it because you want others to judge your status so you feel proud, which is a judgment. You don't share your skills with the world because you don't want to be judged badly and feel shame, which is a judgment. All these things either stop you from earning money, growing money, or even keeping money. So be less hard on yourself. Judge yourself less, and you'll be surprised at how your life changes. And you can watch my video on polarity for my Kabbalion Wealth series if you need help with self-judgment. A lot of my videos cover that topic of judgment and polarity. I like to share a lesson with you from the richest man in the Bible, my favorite character in the Bible. In today's money, he'd be a trillionaire. This man is King Solomon. Now, Solomon has many lessons about money, but I want you to pay attention to one specific teaching he has. Solomon says, buy the truth and sell it not. Also wisdom and instruction and understanding. He says, buy the truth. At some point, you're going to need to invest in yourself. At this point in my life, I've met over 100 millionaires and multimillionaires, even someone who's on the way to being a billionaire. And they have all done something in common. They've paid for truth. They have paid for the knowledge necessary to succeed. At this point in my life, I've spent well over $300,000 on books, courses, coaching, consulting, mentorship, and masterminds. And that investment so far has made me well over $1 million. You don't need to spend all of that now. Can you afford books? Can you afford to go to the library where books are free? You need to put knowledge into your mind. God was willing to grant Solomon anything he wanted. And Solomon asked for wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. He became the richest man in the Bible from those three things. Success leaves clues. Where people get tripped up with this verse is the sell it not part of the verse. It doesn't mean you don't sell your knowledge, because Solomon was a consultant. He sold his knowledge. It means you don't devalue your knowledge. Don't sell it for less than it's worth. And don't compromise what you know to work for fast fads and quick virality that fades away. If you know better, do better. And now you know better. So if you don't follow these steps, you'll be compromising your knowledge. You'll have sold it away to instant gratification and staying the same. If you, like me, know that's not a price you're willing to pay, then you'll follow these laws and you'll change your life. The Bible's a great book of financial secrets, but if you want to learn about the book I used to earn my first $1 million, then check out this video. See you in the next one. For me and wifey, peace.